If you can figure out even roughly what any particular group of these chemicals do in the human being, the US government will reward you with a US patent. Once the patent issues, for 17 years you own this strip of DNA, and if scientists want to work on it, you can charge them rent. There are so many claims for patents pouring into the patent office right now that it could cause big problems. For example, if a team of brilliant scientists thinks that the cure for cancer could be on a particular strip of DNA. If the DNA is patented, it is private property, so they have to ask who the landlord for the strip is and get permission to work there. We have about 500 gene patents, says Lee Bendecki, the lawyer for a company called Insight.
Supreme Court, I believe it's 2014, handed down a ruling on genetic modification of life. And the question is a life form made of natural DNA given the freedoms guaranteed through the Constitution? In this case, it was in America or any other country. And because the pharmaceutical industries are trying to patent DNA. And what the Supreme Court said is you cannot patent something that is natural. You cannot patent the natural DNA. However, if that DNA is modified in some way, you can patent the modification. So if we are embarking on a journey where we modify our collective DNA, where it's being engineered, so it's no longer natural DNA, there are legal implications. There are implications in terms of freedom and in terms of our rights as a form of life if we are no longer natural DNA. And this comes right back to the transhuman, the whole transhuman idea. So, you have to ask yourself who benefits from a society that looks like this, because it's not the average person.
And so some of the mistakes in DNA cause disease, genetic disease. If we could go in and fix those mistakes, we could save many, many lives and get rid of these diseases. CRISPR is a very fascinating tool. You figure out a part of the DNA sequence that you want to change. Then you take the DNA that's nearby and create a guide in RNA, so that helps you locate the position. And then you link this Cas enzyme, which has the ability to do that cut and edit. And so pulling together this guiding RNA and this Cas enzyme, editing becomes possible. So Melinda and I wondered whether providing new medicines and keeping children alive, would that create more of a population problem? What we found out is that as health improves, families choose to have less children. And this effect is very, very dramatic. We find that in every country of the world, this is repeated. The population growth goes down as we improve health, way, way down. Now, 11 billion people still a lot, but the good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great about saving those lives.
The mutations that give us our humanness, chromosome 2, there's one gene, it's called TBR1. It's responsible for 80% of the neocortex. It's the neocortex that gives us empathy, sympathy, compassion, the ability to self-regulate our biology when we choose. Other forms of life do it by instinct. We can sit down in a moment and say, in this moment, I choose to strengthen my immune system. I choose to embark upon a journey of super learning. No other form of life can do that. It's all because of those mutations, and those mutations are not an accident.
In terms of the cows, we pursued many solutions. So one is to vaccinate the cows in a way that their gut bacteria that emit the methane, which is also called natural gas, or CH4, which is the second most important greenhouse gas. you can vaccinate them, and that species of bacteria isn't there. There's another way you can change what they eat, and you could either put that in their water or their feed. There is a drug to change the microbiome, not a vaccine, but a drug. That looks very promising.
Don't give your humanness away. Don't give your biology away.